Hi everyone, in this tutorial we're gonna be continuing with my rig. So now it's time to skin the mesh into the bones and paint weights. So after I'm done with my controllers, so I just do my finalized, just make sure all my controllers are working fine. I think this is good, this is good, this is good, and this is good, and this is good. So all is good, and the knee controller is doing fine, so everything is perfect. Now it's time to select the mesh. What I prefer doing before is basically just give it an X form to reset everything, make sure everything is perfect, and now right click, convert it back to edit poly. That's it. And now I'm just gonna skin it. So I can use the skin modifier, and also I can use the skin modifier, or I can use the physique modifier. So if you search for physique, it's the same thing. Usually physique is used for bipads. The skin is better for bones, but you can use them in both cases for both applications. So I'm going to use in this case skin. So I'm going to skin this mesh on these bones. So whenever I move the bones, I have to move the mesh together. So what I'm going to do, just select the mesh, and I'm going to go from my X-ray mode. Okay, so just go to this skin, and I'm gonna add my bones. So add, and I can select my bones. In this case, I'm gonna select only the bones, which are the BN leg 1, 2, 3, 4, except the effector. I don't wanna select this. So that's why it's always good to name them, especially if I have both legs and both arms and the head and neck and chest and all the details. So they're gonna be a lot of bones. So what I can do, usually I will search in here, I press BN, and I will select everything that starts with BN, which are the bones, and neglecting all the effectors. So in this case, it's just the legs, so I can see them clearly. So I'm going to select all the bones, and you can see in here the bones are inside. Now, that's it. If I select my controller now and move, you can see that the mesh is moving with the bones. So that's the first step. It's doing okay. So now definitely you can see, if I move the bone up, you can see the formations in here. That's where we have to paint the weight and make sure all the vertices, each vertex in the mesh knows it's linked to which bone, or maybe it's linked to both bones, but have their weight respectively. Let's say have 40% on this bone and let's say 60% on this bone. Sometimes we might have 3 bones that's affecting the same vertex. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create a small animation, so just to make sure everything is perfect. So I'm going to just move this in here, this like that. So I'm going to do this, and maybe we'll move this up, and that's it. So let's keep it simple. Okay, so I can check this animation here and the knee. So after I do the small animation, I'm going to select my mesh, and I need to work on my weights. First of all, I can work with the envelopes. So press on edit envelopes, and you can see my envelopes. The envelopes are in this gray line. I can select this envelope of this bone, the shin. I can select the envelope of the thigh, or bone 1, bone 2, and bone 3, and definitely this is bone 4. So first of all, I can work with the envelopes. So select the envelope. I can work with the radius of the envelope. This is the fall up of the weight, and this is the full weight. So in this case, I can just make them a bit smaller, and just, I don't want to affect a lot of the other bone. So I can select the tip of the envelope, and I can move my envelope a bit. So I'm just gonna affect the knee, up till the knee, and then I can paint weight later on to make sure everything's perfect. So I think this is good so far. And select the other one, just gonna make it a bit smaller. I'm gonna select the envelope from up this point in here, just gonna move my envelope a bit down. I think should be okay, and I would do the same thing for the others. I think should be okay like this, and maybe just go a bit upward. I think that's good. So that's the first thing. After I do this, I can check out my model, and you can see definitely things have changed a bit because the weights are different. How I can notice the weight affection? Everything that's red, for example, I'm selecting this envelope, everything that's red, it's affected 100% to this envelope or this bone. Everything that's orange, it's less, then yellow, and then the last thing is blue. And that's everything that has not colored these, that doesn't have these colors, it's basically not affected by this bone. For example, in here, these vertices are not affected by this envelope. But in here, it's slightly affected, and then yellow, orange, and then red. So the first thing I can do is basically this. So I'm just gonna move my point a bit. Okay, I'm just gonna select my other, and yes, something like that. So first thing that I did is basically my envelopes. So that's my first thing. So you can see now the legs are a bit better. Now I'm just gonna use something else. Maybe sometimes you can use just the envelopes and everything's perfect. It depends on how detailed you need your animation to be. For example, if you're skinning a character, definitely you need a bit more. But maybe sometimes you might be rigging, for example, a book or anything else, something like a ball or a rigid body. So things are easier to do them. You can just fix the envelopes and it's done. So now, I'm just gonna go and try to see another way where I can edit my weights. I'm gonna select in here, everything is good, edit envelopes, okay? So instead of editing my envelopes, I'm gonna go vertices, and I'm gonna go down. And I'm gonna use the weight tool. If I go to weight tool, it's just a small box that I can select vertices, and then I can grow my vertices or shrink my vertices or maybe draw a ring or draw a loop or whatever. So that's a simple thing, selection. So now what's happening, I'm gonna select these vertices, for example, and these vertices they don't have a color. So it means according to this envelope, they don't have weight. So they're not affected by this envelope. So now I can just make them get affected by this envelope, for example, on a percentage. Let's say 0%, 0.1, 25, 50. Let's say I'm going to make them affect 50%. And now you can see they are moving with this envelope 50%. Definitely, I don't need this case now. So what I want actually, and I can also set weight. For example, I'm going to add a smaller weight, let's say 0.1. I prefer always to go slow and easy. So I'm going to add plus, 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 and you can see them, and then I can also take off weight and then go back to 0. So what I want to do, I need to fix the area in here. Definitely, that's why I animated this leg, so to make sure everything is perfect. So now what I want, I need to select this envelope and try to see how it's affecting. Okay, what I want is take off some weight. So I'm going to select these vertices in here. Maybe. I think those are perfect, more than perfect. So as you can see, I need them to go with this bone. So I'm going to add a bit of weight in here, so you can see this goes inward. Okay, so I'm going to go inward, maybe a bit more. Okay, and definitely I'm going to select these vertices in here, and I'm going to give them some weight to this envelope. Okay, so I'm just fixing this small, I can just go vertex by vertex, and I think should be good. And definitely try to work on the curvature of the bending. So I don't want to have pinching, but remember that everything we're doing now, it's not the final thing. So I can just get something slightly good, and then after that it's gonna be also, I'm gonna add a Turbosmooth to it, so things are gonna get trapped. So I'm gonna select this, give it back to this angle in here. I think things are going okay, so I'm gonna remove some bones. I'm gonna add to this bone a bit from this angle, and I would say here, no, I want this angle and this. I think it's good. It's kind of good, okay? So definitely I can just, I'm gonna add weight again to this one. So, okay. So you can always add a strong weight. I prefer to go 0.1, so I think it's always easier for me to go something like that. So I'm just fixing this thing in here. Definitely I can go give it more time, but now it should be better than before. Okay, so you can see the curvature in here, it's much better. So what I can do actually, I can just go in here again, and it's obviously I can tell that this needs to deduct weight from this, so I'm gonna add weight to here. Okay, I just didn't do these areas, so that's it. So I can just, you know, take time and fix it. So I'm just gonna select a few of them now and play around. So I think it's fine. I can just wait for later on. I can just work on something else. Let's say I'm gonna add some weight in here to this envelope on the curvature in here. I mean this one, okay, for the knee. And I'm trying to make these vertices, as much as I can, don't overlap of each other. So it's the best I can do. I'll try my best not to make them overlap, and definitely I should fix the knee from the front. I think this should be okay. As you can see, it's much better. And that's for this case. I'm gonna use another tool. That's gonna be the weight tool. I can work on the weight table. The weight table works almost the same, but actually I have all the vertices, and it tells me each vertex to which bone is assigned. So definitely it's gonna be chaotic. So what I can do, I can just select, for example, my my vertices that I really care about. Let's say these vertices in here, I can go here instead of all vertices, selected vertices. So I can see all my vertices in here only. Maybe they're too much. I can go for a lower count. Let's say I'm gonna go for these in here, and these are my selected vertices. So whatever I want, I just can go like this in here, for example, and let's say this vertex is not really doing well. To this bone is 100%. I need to add it to bone 1 a bit. So I can just go on bone 1 a bit, make it bend a bit, and the same thing I'm gonna give it to bone 1. As you can see, I give it weight in here and it deduct weight from the other bone. So I can just make everything visual. So I can just select this bone and give it more weight to this, so it can bend a bit more. Same thing goes in here. I can give it a bit more weight in here, maybe, and same thing here. I can just see it, so I can select them one by one and do whatever I want. Let's say I'm gonna give it a bit thickness in here to make it flush, and I can select each bone by itself and work on that. Definitely, as you can see, it's really time consuming, but definitely if you need something perfect, you need to work on it hard. So I have something much better now, and that's the case of the weight table. The third option is paint weights. I can go to the paint weights. It's basically a brush. Definitely it's too big now. I can go to the brush options and make my strength. As usual, I would prefer always to have something very small, and my size is a bit too big, so I'm gonna make it 1. I think it's still too big, maybe 0.5. I think it's good. So now what I want to do, I can just go my animation, same thing, and maybe I want to add a bit in here to these bones, some weight, depending on each envelope I'm selecting. Now I select the other envelope. I want to add, as you can see the change. I'm adding a bit of the other bone, and we can always just, that's why it's 0.1, so I'm not doing big changes, it's just smoothing out these. So I can just go in, and I think it's good, it's doing fine. So now I think I have a good weight. Definitely I have to give it more time, but I think we got the idea. So after that, I would prefer to have a skin modifier. After the skin modifier, I'm gonna have a Turbosmooth to have a high res of my skin. So now if I want to move this, you can see it's going to be better. Okay, nothing really going really bad. Okay, I'm sure I need to fix my weights in here. Okay, so I would do the same thing again and again. So definitely on all my joints I need to do it. So that's it for my paint weights. And now what I want to do, I can do my tests and everything is perfect. So I can go do also my heels. You can see I need to fix this area. I can work on this, definitely same thing. Maybe this is quite better. This is also needs some work, and you can try with your controllers and you can see where you need. So whatever you need, make sure that your skin modifier is on your low res, which is much better, so you have to worry about few numbers of vertices. If you have a Turbosmooth, so you have to worry about more vertices, and then it means you have to paint weight on more vertices, and it's gonna take a lot of time more. Now when we're done with skinning, what we can do, definitely you're gonna say, I have to do the skin or the paint weights of this leg and the other leg and the chest and the stomach and the neck and the head and the shoulders and the arms, and it's really hectic. Well, the good thing is that what you need to do is you need to skin and adjust the paint weights on half of the body. But you can see in the skin modifier, if you go down, I have a mirror option. So I can mirror my weights from right to left or from left to right. So it's really good. So in here, in my case, unfortunately, I don't have the other leg and I didn't create bones for it. But I'm gonna tell you how to do it. Just go to the skin modifier and go to envelope, or just affect the envelope in here. Alright, I'm just gonna go down and I'm gonna go to the mirror parameter. I'm gonna turn on mirror mode. As you can see, I have my mirror plane. Okay, just gonna make sure everything is fine. Okay, I have my mirror plane. Alright, so this mirror is just on the 0 axis, on X. Alright, and perfectly, if my character is drawn exactly on the 0 axis, the half of it, so when we model the head or the body on the 0 axis, it's perfect. So you can see the mirror in here. So what I can do, I can change definitely my axis from X to Y or to Z. Okay, but definitely in this case I need the X. So if I have both, everything is fine. You can see that everything, all my vertices that are on my right side, okay, all the vertices on the right, they're gonna be blue, and everything on the left, they're gonna be green. So what we can do, it's just a simple thing. All we need to do is just press this. If I want to paste from right to left, so I would press this and paste blue to green verts, and I'm gonna go all the blues, gonna paste on all the greens, and we're done. If I want to do the opposite side, I would go all the green to all the blues. Okay, so same thing in here. Okay, but the thing in here, I can also paste selected vertices. I can select these vertices, for example, the blue ones, and paste them on the other instead of pasting all the weights again. So in this case, because I'm working on one leg, we need to try it on just half of the body, so it would be a bit clearer for you. After we're done with the mirror, okay, I can just add some different deformation, or let's say morphers. If I go in here, for example, I need this leg, when it bends, I need to have the muscles goes a bit further. Maybe I can do the same in here. I would do maybe for the biceps or the triceps and the hand or the arm or whatever. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add a new modifier. It's called a skin morpher. So select skin morpher. Just make sure the skin morpher just comes after the skin, before the Turbosmooth. So that's because I need to worry about few number of vertices. What I need to do in the skin morpher, I'm just gonna go up. I need to add a bone. For example, I'm gonna add the bone of the shin in here, so I can adjust the muscles or this bulge in here. So add bone, I'm gonna go, which is called leg 2, for example, in my case. Select, this is it. If you select the bone in here, you can see it's highlighted with a thick yellow. And now I can go back. I'm gonna use soft selection. In my case, it's always better to have soft selections. And a bit go down, and now I need to create a morph. So what I need to do, actually I'm going to create a morph, and now at 0 the angle is like this. When it bends something like 30 maybe, okay, I need to select my points. For example, maybe make sure I can select them from here better. Just gonna make sure my I think my radius is too big. Okay, I think maybe less. Yes, maybe something like that, or a bit more. Maybe I would say 1 should be okay. So select these vertices. I can select them from the side, which is perfect in here. Select these vertices only, and now on frame 30, okay, so what I want from these vertices, I need to edit them. Make sure you press edit, and then I'm gonna move them to go bulge to them. Same thing goes for here. Just gonna bulge them. Just gonna go a bit easy in here, so something should be good. Okay, so I think it's fine now. I'm just gonna select this a bit and push it a bit outward. Same thing in here, just gonna push it outward to give it more volume. Make sure this one is also pushed. I think it's fine. We can just go into details more if we want to, but I think it's more than enough for now. After I'm done, I can just press edit again. Oops. Okay. I have a problem in here. Just make sure. Okay. I can just repeat that again. I think I'm gonna remove my bone again and go back. Alright. Frame 30. Just gonna first add the bone and make sure I select my bone, and I'm gonna create a morph in here and select my points and edit these points. Just want to make sure doing that right. Okay, I'm not sure what happened. I'm just gonna try it again. Okay, I'm just gonna do it really quickly now. Just gonna go. You can see the bulge in here. I think I did this a bit too much. I need to push it forward. I think it's fine, and now I just turn off my edit. Okay, I think now it worked. So now when I go down, I'm going to deselect, make my Turbosmooth on. So when it goes up, you can see it bulge more, and then go back, up and back. Okay, so I can do this kind of deformation for, let's say, muscles and stuff. Definitely not working with real muscles, but that would do some kind of good work sometimes. And we can do such a fake muscles where we can see that the leg is getting, whenever it bends, it just goes a bit thicker. Same thing we can do for the leg in here, and for the biceps, and maybe stomach or chest, and this is it. So that's it for the skin and skin morpher and the painting weights, definitely. So now it's time to do your own characters. So that's it. Thank you for listening, and have a good day.